On many issues, yes, they're not polarized, but people
disagree.
argue that when it comes to the critical issues, and that's why people believe that the Constitution Amendment, yes, usually touches on a number of things, but they believe that at the heart of, you know, the core of what it's supposed to touch on, it's usually very shy of it.
So that is what I talk about. I gave the example of what the Americans would call white privilege. So it looks like a section of the country has privilege, in that the Constitution has made sure that the way it is structured, you are not able to undo those privileges.
Does the country, do they really have the privileges? I mean, this section of the country, most times people refer to the northern part of the country.
Yes.
Do they really have the privileges, or is that just an elitist narrative as well?
It is elitist, because for the masses of the north, there is no privilege for the masses of the north. And in fact, it is a military setup. That's what I'm telling the democratic civilians now. We need to renegotiate what the military did. The military was doing it because they are a small clique who can sit in office and share the largesse of office easily with them. But in a democracy, we need to rethink and retool ourselves. Let's not be held hostage by the decisions of the military. Let nobody think that there is a privilege. If you think so, then you are creating a situation where constant tugging, agitation, and pull will continue to erode the capacity of the Nigerian state to renew itself. So I think it is not in the interest of anybody to sustain the military-designed contraption we have now.
The military-designed contraption, only recently I was reading an article written by Simon Kolawole on this Nigerian constitution and how it's supposed to be the biggest problem. But when he talks about it, he talks about how, you know, a lot of Nigerians were involved in the writing of the process, and it's just a regurgitation of the 1979 constitution with just a few amendments here and there. And that's what the 1979 constitution had, you know, constituents who wrote the constitution.
Yes.
As it is right now, is the constitution really our problem?
It is to some extent, for those who talk about the structure. It is to some extent. Let me explain. In 1963, we had a plebiscite to decide to create the Midwestern region. Nobody asked me why they created Anambra State or Ebonyi State for that matter. Nobody, the criteria for deciding to create one state, 5 states in the east, and 7 in the northwest, as you pointed out, or 6 in the southwest, and nobody gave anybody an opportunity to decide that, yes, we want to be in Anambra State. You know, all of us in this local government want to be in Anambra State. So fundamentally, the decision was taken by people who are not from the same area with us.
But what we often find is that when these creations are done, the people of those states rejoice. In fact, right now, a lot of governors celebrate the anniversary of the creation of their states.
And yet, inside that state is also further agitation for new states. So meaning, another section of the state is thinking of another state.
Which at the heart of this, people would say, is the fact that there is something to share.
That's another thing with the Nigerian Constitution. The Nigerian Constitution talks about mineral rights going to the federal government and talks about the federal allocation system. So meaning that ultimately, and it is always, these things are a matter of time and place. So at the time it was formed, at the time, maybe it made sense. But I just think that we need to continuously review this. We need to continue to review this and ensure that it reflects the current realities on the ground. And I think the current realities on the ground is that Nigeria is not operating at its optimum.
Do you think it's at the heart of the problem we currently face?
What is at the heart?
That's oil money.
Oil money is part of it. Oil money is at the heart of it. Because if not for the sharing formula we're thinking about, why are we all keeping quiet, including the agitators for Biafra? I asked them, as you're agitating for Biafra, Morocco is trying to sneak into the West African Union, into ECOWAS. And that has grave implications for Igbo trade, Igbo businesses in Nigeria, because Morocco is a major importer of Western products and becomes a huge market into the West African states. So there are issues that need to be talked about. We need to be able to build a political structure, a political class that is not insular. And that is why the election in Anambra State and the election in 2019 will be a referendum on our future. The 2019 and 2018 elections should be a referendum on our future. What type of engagement do we want in Nigeria that will make it possible for people not to feel this sense of powerlessness, this desire to go to the streets and not to the legal process?
Well, I'm sure that the people of Anambra State will be giving you that answer in a couple of weeks. But we have to thank you most kindly for coming on Sunrise Daily. Osita Chidoka is currently the governorship candidate of the UPP running in the Anambra governorship elections. And also a former Minister of Aviation and former Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Commission. Sunrise Daily will be back in just a moment. Please stay with us.